The 805th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code MMA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Hello, degenerates. Welcome to episode 805 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Dark Scarecrow, one of our friends on the YouTube, who also wished my wife a happy birthday. And that's the way you get a shout out on this podcast, if you kiss up to one of the hosts or their family members. So there you go. I would be one of the hosts. I would be still the ass grinding. I want to call myself the ass grinding machine. Is that what my name is? It's the ass grinding.
That's it. Yeah,
ass grinding machine, Jeff Fox. It's been a while. Ass grinding machine, Jeff Fox. I'm one of your hosts here, and we're continuing our regional MMA extravaganza. We have got two more regional episodes for you starting today. We got Cage Warriors 187 today. Tomorrow we're doing CFFC Cage Fury Fighting Championships. And then I guess Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, more regional. So we're going to have, 8 regional events in a row before the UFC is back. But that is a good thing, because that is what we specialize in. And that's what you people, you sickos out there, like to watch and listen to the most, it seems, especially PFL. You people have a weird kink for the PFL, but anyhow,
I appreciate it.
That'll be Daniel Gumby Vreeland, the
who
voice
appreciates it.
who appreciates it. I appreciate it as well. He's the mastermind behind all of our regional plays. He knows what he's talking about. Do you know what you're talking about with Cage Warriors, Gumby? How are you doing with Cage Warriors this year?
It's actually, along with Aries, has been one of my weak spots on the year. So we're hoping to change the narrative today. It's that European. Well, no, it's not European, because I do well on Octagon. That's different.
It's just England, France.
Yeah, England, France. That's it right there.
Yeah.
So we'll blame them, not me. This one's in Scotland, so maybe that's better.
Yes, the home of my grandmother, Scotland. So maybe I should make the picks. I should. I'm not gonna mispronounce any names for sure, because I'm Scottish. I'm a quarter Scottish. That means so. No real difficult names. We're not doing any of the super difficult names on this one. Thoughts on the fight card that Cage Warriors is presenting to us this weekend?
Not a bad one. They are leaning pretty heavily into the Scottish fighters, though. So we get like a Chris Bungard fight, which he's gritty and fun to watch. But even if he's not like a title challenger, so you're gonna get all the Scots that you can expect. And overall, not terrible.
There you go. Well, is that not a ringing endorsement or not? It's not terrible. It's better than the Apex card. We call those terrible often, but he says it's not terrible. All right, before we actually get into the winning picks, let me remind you that if you're looking for all of SGPN's picks and podcasts in one convenient place, then go to the App Store, download the SGPN app, wherever you get your apps, and of course, it's free. Just like all of our picks, all of our shows, everything is always free at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. One of the reasons why you love us, because you're all cheap. You spend your money on gambling. All right, Cage Warriors 187, Clancy versus Gomes. Good thing is we have odds for this, which is good as well. Was it LFA that the odds came out that were crazy high? Was it LFA?
Yeah, they were way wider than I expected them to be.
Yeah.
The books have got the books got a lot of faith in Richie Lewis, and I like Richie Lewis too, but he's still a 6-0 wrestler without too much hands. And so I picked him, but I bet him at that odds.
Do you expect the odds to go down drastically before?
I mean, I can't imagine more people don't get in on Richie Miranda at some point in time. Yeah. I have to imagine that one comes down. Some of the other ones I can see staying up, just because sometimes people see wide odds and they're like, oh, that automatically goes in a parlay. That automatically goes in a parlay.
Right.
But I have to imagine people get in on Richie Miranda.
Yeah. Either or, Richie's going to, Richie Lewis is still minus 1,000. Only one book has it right now currently, or at least according to the aggregator. So maybe once there's more competition out there, the odds will swing down a bit. But yeah, pretty wide. Yeah. All right. Cage Warriors odds are, I don't think they're quite as wide. No, well, we got some close ones here. So hopefully, actually, no, I'm looking at PFL in front of me. Cage Warriors, let me see. Cage Warriors, no, they're okay. Nothing crazy with these odds. So hopefully we can make ourselves some money. Cage Warriors 187, Clancy versus Gomes, Glasgow, Scotland, April the 19th. So that would be Saturday, 1 p.m. No, I was going to say, I don't know what time the UFC starts. The UFC does not start this week. So you're all set. Cage Wars can be your go-to this coming Saturday. It's on UFC Fight Pass. 16 fights from the Braehead Arena in Glasgow. Gumby's got the top 5 on the card. We're going to break down in full. Then we'll have lots of picks at the end, or lots of options for picks at the end for our lightning round. So let's dive into it, starting with a 135 bantamweight. Sorry, a Tapology does not have the correct order. So it's Tapology's fault.
One of the fights isn't even on Tapology yet.
Yeah, exactly. That long awkward pause, Tapology. You're to blame. All right, Keir Harvie. He's from Scotland versus Alexandros Moumtzis from. If it's got ZIS at the end of it, you know he's from Greece, right? More than likely. No, is he from Greece?
Yeah, I think he's Greece.
These guys are bantamweights. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. That much I know. And we have odds, like I said. Moumtzis is Ghostbuster. They have a ghost issue in Greece, or did he take care of it? Maybe that's why he's.
They don't have one anymore because he ain't afraid of no ghosts.
He ain't afraid. Moumtzis ain't afraid of no ghosts. This is his debut in Cage Warriors. He's a regional champ. Used to fight at 145. 0-1 is pro grappler. 2 years younger than Harvie, plus 150. Harvie 8-3-2. 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 3-0 in Cage Wars. He's won 3 straight and gone 3-2-2 over his last 7. Getting 2 draws in your last 7 fights. That takes some talent. 0-1 in Bellator. Used to fight at 145. An inch of RIP Bellator. An inch of height over Moumtzis, aka the Ghostbuster, minus 200.
I'm gonna go out the dog play out the gate. I'm gonna take Moumtzis. I think the biggest piece for me is watching the striking of Keir Harvie. It's really clear that he doesn't have the ability to find an established range early on. He's, I think I talked about it with one of the fighters on the last fight card we broke down, but he's one of those guys who, when he goes to find the range, sometimes he's actually too far in for the strike he wants to throw, and winds up almost hitting him with the sides of his arm. And then other times he's like whiffing from, 10 feet away and seems to think he's going to land. And so that's a problem already. And then what happened in his last fight was he got so close to his opponent that he got picked up and taken down kind of easily a couple of times. And his jiu-jitsu is really good. His ability to get back to his feet, held up. And he even threatened off of his back once or twice. But that's a recipe for losing decisions. Now, I also want to give a shout out to his cardio, because his cardio actually wound up carrying him through that last fight. But I think in this fight with Moumtzis, I don't think that's an option. I think Moumtzis has got the cardio that can hang with him. Moumtzis is a little bit better in terms of the jiu-jitsu side of things, and much better in terms of the wrestling side of things. I haven't seen a lot of Moumtzis' striking because he likes to get right to the grappling. But, his back takes are really nice when he does do grapple. He's persistent in his attempts. And with what, I saw Harvie give up in the last fight, I'd be surprised if the jiu-jitsu didn't eventually start to wear down Harvie. So give me Moumtzis here at plus 150?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah, I like that number. I like that number on him. Give me an underdog at the gate.
Moumtzis kind of sounds like a disease, like mumps. He's got the Moumtzis.
He's got the Moumtzis. Yeah.
Hopefully Harvie does not have the vaccine for the Moumtzis, because we want Moumtzis to take care of it. And Gummies, basically you're hedging your bets here in case you ever get infested by ghosts. You want to stay on the good side of the Ghostbuster, so you got to pick them.
That's true. That's true.
You can't get them angry at you and then have a house full of ghosts and your kids will be all freaked out. Not good. I guess you might be freaked out too. I probably would be freaked out if I had a house full of ghosts. We are going to a catchweight bout next. Easy transition. 160-pound catchweight bout. The aforementioned Chris Bungard from Scotland versus Artūrs Leisāns. Is that how you say it?
Leisāns. I think it's
Leisāns. He's from
because it's got the little line over the A.
An accente something. He is from Latvia. 3 5-minute rounds, 160. Leisāns is 9-8. I said it French. 7 knockouts, 1 submission.
That's our trick. Oh no, it's Italian.
Italian. The French works too. We do say a lot of things French as well, I think. Someone's going to ask, is it a bit you guys are doing? Mispronouncing names?
It is. Yes.
We get asked that every few months. Kind of a bit, kind of not. Leisāns is 9-8, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted 3 times. 0-1 in Cage Warriors. He's lost 2 straight. He's only won 1 of his last 4. The last 2 losses came via submission. However, he has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. You can get this very shirt here. Not this one, but a facsimile at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. get sticky and all that stuff. Used to fight at 170, 9 years younger than Bungard, plus 300. Bungard is the bad guy. 20-10, 5 knockouts, 11 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. 3-3 in cage wars, 1-2 over his last 3, 3-3 over his last 6. He won his last fight via submission. He also has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. 2-3 at Bellator. Used to fight at 170 as well. Has missed weight before at 155. 2013 pro MMA debut. 2 inches of reach over Leisāns. Minus 450 for the old dog.
I'm a little bit surprised he's this big of a favorite, but I'm still picking him. The bottom line is Bungard is just like he's gritty as hell. And they always like to give him matchups that like favor him when they come to Scotland. Like he's not fighting for a title here in the main event or anything like that, but they're going to give him a fight they think he can win. And the big thing for me in this one for him is just how bad Leisāns is on the takedown defense. So like Bungard will get gritty with you in the clinch. You know, he'll get into a collar tie and throw elbows on the inside and rip the body and just be nasty. He'll do the same in the grappling. He'll pin you up against the cage and work tirelessly for a takedown. And he's still there in the third round. Despite his, you know, sort of advancing age, he still has got a great gas tank for the style he brings. And if you watch Leisāns, like the takedowns he's given up in his recent fights are just so pathetic. You know, he fought Chasen Blair, and I want to be straight first. Like Chasen Blair has good takedowns. So I'm not hating on him for giving up a takedown to Chasen Blair. But Chasen Blair went to throw a strike, tripped and fell onto his knees. And Leisāns just stood right next to where he had fallen down. And Blair was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just pick these legs up. And he picked him up and slammed him from that position. So, like, he tripped and fell, and, like, Leisāns couldn't do anything with it because he's that far behind some of these guys in terms of grappling. And I think when it comes to Bungard, who, you know, is a guy who will spend 3 minutes trying to get a takedown and then eventually get it and then use the time he's got on top, like, Leisāns giving him more time on the mat is not going to be good for him. Because like you said, Leisāns coming off of back-to-back submission losses. Bungard, known submission threat. Like that's the way he wins a lot of his fights. You don't want to give him 4 minutes on the ground, right? Bungard makes good use of the 2 minutes he usually gets on the ground because it takes him 3 minutes for a takedown. I think he gets him early enough in the round here that he takes backs or winds up with arm triangles or things like that. Like this is Chris Bungard by decision for me.
All right. Bungard is the pick. All right. Before we dive into some more picks, maybe I should pay some bills for us, shall I? Let's tell you about Edge Boost. Ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Ever need to cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but hit your ATM limit? Well, Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and where you need it without the delays that can come with traditional banks. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. It gets better every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account. You can earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. Edge Boost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started with no credit checks, no minimum balance, and no usage fees. Simply verify your identity and you're ready to go. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. Plus, props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations. Easy deposits and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out the Al Horford lines for the playoffs. And, of course, our Cage Warriors lines will be showing up there now if they are not already. Probably up there already. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. Now back to Scotland we go. This is the belt that Tapology does not have on their site yet. It is a lightweight belt with a Scottish fighter in it. Go figure. Michael Blair versus a Frenchman, Mathias Poiron. We'll say that as a French name. Not on Tapology, but we do have odds for it. We'll tell you about Blair first. 4-2 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out himself twice. 2-1 in Cage Wars. 2 straight wins for him and 4 wins out of his last 5. A year younger than Poiron, minus 110. Poiron is 7-2. 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. He owes his rounds, damn it. This is his debut in Cage Wars. He's lost 2 straight fights, both via finish. Used to fight at 170, minus 120. So almost a pick him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Michael Blair here, who I guess is technically a slight underdog, right? The reason I like Michael Blair in here is, first of all, both of these guys have big issues with their striking defense. For Poiron, the big issue is his chin up in the air. When he moves forward and he's looking to strike, the chin looks like it's just there to be ripped. With Blair, it's less so that his upper body or chin is in the wrong position. It's more when he enters to strike, he doesn't exit to strike. So he just kind of hangs around too long. And now that means he usually gets hit a lot, but he's also like prepared to take those hits if, there's such a thing. Whereas Poiron is like, he's going to get surprised by everything he's hit because his like head is way up in the air. I like Blair a lot better to take advantage of those situations. Largely, I think he hits a little bit harder. And he also like doubles up his jab, which I think is going to do enough to like push Poiron out of range so that counter doesn't come and really hurt him. And then when it comes to grappling, I think Blair is way better than Poiron too. Not to play on a stereotype here, but Poiron, French guys typically not terribly great in the wrestling department in terms of MMA, or at least what we've seen, so far. And like Blair can really get a double leg. His entries into the double leg are really smart. They're short. He doesn't shoot from too far away. He gets to the hips. He locks the hands. They're not necessarily terribly diverse. He's not somebody who's going to drive through them, but he is somebody who gets to them well enough that I'm not really worried about whether or not he'll be able to do so with frequency. So like, even if this fight stays on the feet, I think Blair's going to outpoint him with the amount of moving forward he does and the amount of doubling up on those jabs. And then on top of that, like if he does start to hate what he's seeing or gets like, some of those return shots actually do land and he's feeling it a little bit, I think he moves to the wrestling. I think he does so pretty slick. And I think he can grind out a decision that way if he needs to.
All right. Very good. We're off to our main event already.
Co-main
event, excuse me. Yes. A couple names you probably are familiar with. Reece McEwan, he is from Scotland. Weslley Maia, he is from Brazil. They are fighting at bantamweight. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds if necessary. Tell you about the Scotsman first. McEwan, 8-3, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been submitted 1 time. 5-2 in Cage Wars. He's won 1 of 2 and 5 of 7. He did win his last fight via submission. He's at plus 150. Magic Maia, 10-6, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 4-4 in Cage Wars. He's won 4 of 5 and 4 of 7. Sub win in his last bout. 1-0 in PFL. He used to fight down at 125. 2015 Pro MMA debut. He's at minus 200.
I'm gonna go Weslley Maia here. He's done really well for me as an underdog. I'm gonna live with him again as a favorite here. Reece McEwan, kind of simple breakdown of him. He's a guy who likes to circle away and look for the counters. He's not terribly offensive when it comes to his striking. He kind of needs somebody to bring the fight to him. Luckily for him, maybe not. He's going to have a guy here in Weslley Maia. Maia is not shy about bringing a fight to anybody. This dude is a wild man when it comes to his striking. And so, like, on one hand, like, maybe that's what Reece McEwan needs is somebody to get up in his grill. He's got a really nice, like, left hook counter that he throws, and he hurts people with it. But, like, he has gotten so used to counter striking that, like, when a guy comes at him with the level of volume you're going to see from Weslley Maia, I just don't like his chances of, like, having enough volume and doing enough damage that, like, the judges are going to like what they see from him versus, like, what they see from Maia. Because Maia is going to throw so much. And unless McEwan gets out of range of most of it and tires him out, I mean, like, he's going to get hit a lot looking for counters here. So I think that's the big piece there to start. And then in addition to, like, the backing up and circling away, McEwan does have a good double leg. If you watch his fight with Cameron Ellis, he gets another takedown against Cameron Ellis. Granted, Cameron Ellis, maybe not the best in the world at defending a takedown, but he's got a little takedown there that's not so bad. But the problem with that for me is, again, if he's backing up the vast majority of the fight, the entries to that double leg are going to be significantly harder. The entries to that double leg are not going to appear as much. And then, should he get a takedown, Weslley Maia's wrestling is, like, maybe not the most technical thing you've seen, much like his striking. He's just kind of a wild man, but he's so physically strong that I do think, as long as he digs one underhook, he's probably going to stuff the takedown. And then even if he is on the mat for a little bit, his jiu-jitsu is really sharp too. He's obviously got some chops there as well. So, for me, McEwan's biggest path to victories are, like, staying out of trouble on the mat, grappling, and like circling away so much that he frustrates Maia. And I've never seen anybody stay away from a firefight with Weslley Maia for all that long. So I'm going to go with Weslley Maia. I think the volume approach and just being more dangerous than Reece McEwan is going to be enough.
All right. And just like that, we are to our main event. After I let you know about the last two sponsors helping us keep the lights on here. That would be, first one would be Underdog. It is time for Gumby's bonus Underdog Pick'em. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. What are we playing today?
So the NBA actual playoffs start on Saturday. The Bucks are going to be playing Indiana in that first round. And I like Brook Lopez's higher than on his points and rebounds. They got it listed at 17.5. He went for 15 points in his last game of the season against Detroit. He'd basically cover it there already. He went for 20 a little bit earlier in the week against New Orleans. So he's basically getting there already with his points. So let's take the higher than on the points and rebounds for Brook Lopez.
All right. Going with the old head. So take that pick and take our code MMA SGPN and take it over to underdogfantasy.com and claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So that's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for NBA and golf. Picks so good, it feels like cheating. Building your own model is simple and easy. They got Al Horford models there, obviously. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on now. 25% off monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscriptions with a promo code SGPN50. So that's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. All right. I think Gumby's got he's got one more breakdown and winning play for you, and then he's going to have some bonus plays for you. The main event of the evening is a welterweight belt, 3 5-minute rounds. Sean Clancy Jr. from Scotland. Italo Gomes from Brazil. Let's break her down. Gomes, Chipa is the nickname. 13-4, 2 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. This is his debut in Cage Warriors. Loss win over his last 4, 5-2 over his last 7. He's a regional champ. He's fight at 145 and 155 plus 300. The one, Sean Clancy Jr. Actually, he's the second. Sean, his nickname should not be the one. He's the 2. Because
the 2 is not a bad one. Yeah.
There's a Sean Clancy Sr. for crying out loud. All right, this one is 6-0, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. So he finished everyone. He owes some rounds. 4-0 in Cage Warriors. He used to fight at 185. 6 years younger than Gomez. An inch taller. Minus 450.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sean Clancy Jr. At first I was like, is this line too wide? Do I have to go dog just on principle here? And the answer wound up being no. The bottom line is first of all, Sean Clancy really good on counters. Particularly if you give just like a naked low kick on him, he is going to pop you in regards to that. He's got really nice body lock takedowns, inside trip type stuff. He doesn't get too, he doesn't try to muscle him too much. He keeps it real simple. Part of me doesn't really like how much he backs up in fights because he does love that counter striking. Sort of similar to I was just talking about with Reece McEwan there. But he backs up a little bit. He gets a little bit too comfortable there. But luckily with Gomes, he's fighting a guy who I think is also, sort of a little bit has a tendency to do that as well. It probably isn't going to bring the size of pressure that Sean Clancy really needs in order to have to feel it. So I like that for Clancy. And then in addition to that too, if you watch Gomes, in terms of his defensive stuff on his wrestling, in his last fight, he's fought kind of a low level of competition, but in his last fight, his opponent went to take him down, damn near had him down, and he kind of judo hip tossed once, and one time he used a strong whizzer and scrambled, and he wound up in top positions many of those times. But I think it's mostly just because he's doing the right thing against a really bad opponent, whereas Clancy, first of all, it's hard to counter with a strong whizzer because he's using body lock takedowns. So you're not going to see the same types of counters that he needs to in order to use those. And then in addition to that too, I just think he's better and more technical than what Gomes has been fighting, so Gomes maybe got away doing that with, sort of the low level of fighter he's been fighting. But I think Clancy is just going to be too sharp when it comes to that, and should be able to take advantage. So give me Sean Clancy Jr.
All right, Sean Clancy Jr. it is. All right, let's recap and then we'll get you some more bonus picks here. He's got Sean Clancy Jr. He has got Magic Weslley Maia. He has got Blair. He has got Bungard. He has got Moumtzis. All right. Hopefully you don't have Moumtzis, Gumby. Lightning round, Zap, Bam, Boom, Pow. Anything intrigue you on the other fights in the card?
Yeah, there's one more fight. So they officially, we picked the fights that we were going to break down because they look like they would be the main card fights. They actually wound up announcing that there were 6 main card fights on this one. So I might as well hit the other one too. Jordan Backus. I was kind of shocked to see him listed as an underdog. He's going to be fighting in the other main card fight. He's a real powerhouse guy, when it comes to wrestling, with the strikes he throws, he's real physically strong. And I was shocked to see him at plus 175. He's a guy who, put together a pretty good fight against Nick Bagley, who, I think fairly highly of as well. We've seen really good things from Jordan Backus. So I like him in this fight. And then I'm going to go with Daniel Bainbridge, negative 205, maybe a little bit high, but he'd definitely be fine with a straight up play on Daniel Bainbridge. He's young. He's only 4-0, but he's very explosive for his age. So I like him as a prospect in general. And I think they gave him a favorable matchup. So once again, that's Daniel Bainbridge and Jordan Backus.
All right. You're all set. Good to see a dog amongst those plays. All right. You can get more plays or chat more about Cage Warriors or whatever else you please in the MMA world at our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, or at our YouTube channel, which would be MMA Gambling Podcast. Obviously, make sure you subscribe. You can hit us up in the comments there. Twitter/X would be SGPN MMA. He's at Gummy Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same thing on Instagram for me. You can check out our my Substack at moneymma.substack.com. You can check out Gummy's other podcast, the Top Turtle MMA podcast. Who is on it this week?
So we're talking with one fighter who is going to be on LFA 207 this weekend. Yep. Cheyenne Bowers. She'll be fighting her first fight since her title fight. And then we're talking to Christian Natividad, who is supposed to be on the card. His opponent is pulled out, but he's still talking about what he's got plans for during this summer.
All right. So check out Top Turtle MMA Podcast every week, wherever you get your fine podcasts. And of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your merch, and the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get bonus content. We'll be back tomorrow. The bad guy, Jeff Fox, the one, Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.